Hello and welcome to Handsome Jack's Kitchen. I am Chef Aiden, and today's meal we'll be preparing Caribbean-style brown stewed chicken. Along with that, we'll be making coconut rice and beans, and the vegetable of the day is spinach with minced garlic. Please do follow me on all social media platforms. Let's go. Alright folks, you see me here cleaning our chicken pieces. The parts I'll be using of the chicken today will be thighs and legs. What you see me doing is cleaning it with lemon, folks. We want to clean that grime and bacteria off as much as we can before we begin to season our meal. So we clean that with lemon. In just a short moment, you'll see me set that to the side to be added in with vinegar. There you go. Vinegar and water. Let that sit for about 3 minutes, and then continue to rinse and wash. All right, you see me with my vegetables to be added to the brown stew chicken meal, which is celery. Celery is one of the things I'll be using, along with peppers. Bell peppers. We'll be using the colors of red, yellow, green, orange. Okay. Slice those up at a decent size, just enough to fit on your fork with every bite. Don't want to quite mince it. But yeah, these peppers have good health benefits as well. So, not a health nut, but I like to add a little healthy to my meal. So the peppers will be part of that. I want to add in tomatoes along with that too. Tomatoes go well. The tomatoes that you want to ask for in the supermarket or look for will be Roma tomatoes or Plum tomatoes. That's just a better tasting tomato for when you're cooking with tomato. So we add that in there. For this dish, we probably use 1 or 2. And we chop our onions. We don't want to mince those either. We want to leave them at a sizable portion. We got our scallions, or as some call them, green onions. Just chop those right on up for flavor. Add that to the mixture as well of vegetables. Set that to the side. Go back to our chicken. Pat that dry so we can add our seasonings and they can stick to our meat. You don't want to do that with a wet bird. All your seasonings will wind up at the bottom of the bowl. Less flavor. All right, we add our browning in there, our browning sauce. You can get that at your store in your international aisle. All right, we add our seasonings now that we've mixed in the browning. A little bit of onion powder, garlic powder, Lawry's. We add in some ground thyme and some Sazon. Mix that up. You see the black pepper sitting to the side. I haven't used that quite yet, but I've mixed it up, so I'm adding some of the same seasonings. Just mixing it up as I do so in portions. Add my black pepper, mix it up, get it good. Now what you see me chopping is a couple of fresh cloves of garlic. I know you see the garlic minced bottle sitting next to me, but this is definitely for this dish. Fresh minced garlic, browning seasoning mixed in there, and what you see me about to grab here, that right there in the corner, that's an Habanera pepper. I couldn't find a Scotch bonnet, but this right here, you do not want to let it burst open if you don't look for heat. If you're not looking for that much heat, don't let it burst open, but just a little kick, leave it whole, let it stew with your meat along with your vegetables. All right, we're going to cover these both up, let them sit for about an hour if we have that amount of time, or 24. Just sit it overnight for flavoring. That's good as well. Vegetable oil to our pot, depending on the portion of chicken you're using. And you want to turn that up high so that it's actually frying as you're putting your pieces of chicken in. Let your chicken sit out a bit before you put it in there. You don't want to put ice cold chicken in there with hot grease. So you put just enough grease at the bottom so that it touches every piece that you put in the pot. You want to change these over, turn them around as you go. See there? It'll get a nice little brown on there. You let it go. It could take about maybe 5 minutes for you to get each piece the way you'd like it to be before you add in your veggies and other goodnesses, if that's a word. All right. Yeah, you can tell that heat is doing what it needs to. You don't want it to boil, folks. You want it to like fry up in there. So keep that fire high, but pay attention to it. You don't want to burn your meat. Keep that moving and it begins to change color. Now we add our vegetables. They've also been sitting in some browning. Toss those around. You see I have the fire a bit high. Have my fresh thyme in there. That's also what you see mixed into the vegetables. And what you see me put in there just now is just a bit of Worcestershire sauce. You don't want it to be overpowering, but you do want to go for maximum flavor. I add my bottled water because when I'm cooking these dishes, I like to use nothing but the best. Tap water is okay for those who'd like to use it. I'd prefer bottled water. Get that mixed in there the way I'd like it to be. Make sure that Scotch bonnet sits in there where it needs to be. Do not let it burst. The seeds hold heat unless you are looking for that. But keep it whole, folks, just for minimal spice. I'll cover this, let it cook at a medium heat, and I won't come back to check it till about maybe 30 minutes. At 30 minutes, I see it moving around neatly and nicely. Our meal is stewing. Just checking on our Scotch bonnet. Well, not a Scotch bonnet for my case. This is a habanero pepper, but making sure I keep it whole. Don't lose focus. You'd hate to let that get lost and it wind up in your plate. What you see me using here is called Better Than Bouillon, chicken flavor, because that's what we're cooking today. They also have beef and other flavors, but I prefer this over the bouillon cubes. I like the paste. So I let that mix up nice and well. Cover it up. Again, I won't come back and check it for another 30 minutes. All right. As things begin to thicken up, as we would do gravy at times, we use our water and flour mixture and let that go for about another 3 minutes, and it is done. Here you see me begin to make the rice. That's coconut milk in a can, folks. We add that to a little bit of water along with coconut cream. We're doing this just as we would do rice. Instead of the water, we're substituting the milk for that, but we're using water as well. We'll add in our beans as we begin to cook the rice first. But let's season it up. You see me there with some Lawry's, some black pepper, and ground thyme, along with fresh thyme. Then you see garlic powder, folks. We mix that up with our whisk. Get that going. Put it to the stove so we can add our rice. That's sea salt you see me adding in, folks. Sea salt and black pepper. Again, this rice is phenomenal. I love to make it, and it goes well with a few Caribbean dishes. You can make it with your oxtails. For my folks, which are Southern, you can make it with neck bones. Good stuff. All right, so we add our rice as we would normally do, and beans, because it won't take those beans long to do what they need to. Bring it to a boil. Let's get our rice going to a nice boil, and we grab our Better Than Bouillon. Gonna add a little bit to the rice for flavor, folks. Chicken bouillon, by the way. Get that going in your rice. Trust, folks, the flavor is going to be phenomenal if done properly. All right, we're just going to mix that in there. Get our rice to a nice fluff. Here is the end result of that. We'll put it in a pan for service. Set it to the side. Cover it up. And back to our spinach, folks. We're going to put our onions in here. Saute them just a little bit so that the oil takes the flavor of the onion. Add your spinach. Have the pan on high. You should hear a nice sizzle as that spinach begins to cook down. Be mindful, folks. You will see a lot of spinach in the pan right now, but it does cook down to a little smaller amount. I'll say that much. Adding my minced garlic here. We're going to mix that in with a little bit of salt and pepper and garlic powder. Let it saute for a bit. Keep the green, folks. We're going to cover it up here and get it ready for service. It doesn't take long to cook at all. All right, back to my chicken. I'm going to put that in the pan for service. Look at that gravy. Nice and creamy looking. as we would want it to be. Yep, those are thighs and legs, folks, with all the vegetables that we put in there as well. Ready for service. So I'm going to plate it now with my rice and beans, coconut rice and beans. Add my thigh and my leg, a bit of gravy to the rice. And I would have preferred my sautéed spinach to be a bit greener, but for video purposes, we'll go with what we got. It's all love. And there we have it, folks. This meal looks very nice. I hope you did enjoy making it. Thank you for watching the video. Please do follow me on all social media platforms. And don't forget, love yourself and others. Peace.